So hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ames's Corner. How are you all doing out there? So today is just another day in the office, in and out work, in and out, but I have something a little bit interesting today. We got this '05 Nissan Titan here in the bay, and I like these trucks, really well built trucks, but one of the things that some people don't like about them is the front end is a bit low in relation to the rear end. It's about 3 inches or so higher in the rear than it is in the front. I measured it with a tape measure. I think we're 36 inches here in the rear, and it's 33 inches in the front. So what this customer got and delivered to us to put into his truck is this rough country 3-inch suspension kit for the front, which consists of a set of struts, 2 upper control arms, and a pair of longer sway bar links. This is something we need to do to the rally wagon, but that's another story. Anyway, so yeah, one interesting thing, I'm looking at the parts here, and it looks like they tore one of the, get my flashlight out. Looks like they tore one of the boots to the ball joint. So it looks like they didn't bother to take the boot off before they pressed the joint in, but that's no big deal. Not able to add any grease to it, so not really the highest quality ball joints in this rough country kit, but it should be just fine for this application. So yeah, let's get this thing up on the lift and see what kind of bear this is going to be to put in. Alright guys, that wasn't too bad. Got that done before lunch. Got that strut all built and in there. That upper tubular control arms all set and good to go. We got the custom lengthened sway bar end links all in there and done. Yeah, nice. Not really a tough one, you know. Kind of like done this a million times, but just never to this particular truck. But felt just like any other front leveling kit with dual control arms. And next up on this truck is we got this really cool looking bull bar here. Pretty neat, huh? Looks a lot like the one I put on the rally wagon, just a little bit bigger. One off the rally wagon was an old Jeep Liberty one, but yeah. So anyways, we got the time lapse still kicking over here. Why don't we get to cranking that that bull bar on the front of this thing. Alright guys, we got that all snapped together. Not bad for a half-a-day project. Something a little different than the mundane ball joint and oil changes that we seem to be getting this time of year. But yeah, it's a 3-inch lift in the front to get it level. So it took 3 inches to get this thing to where it should have been. I'm kind of almost looks a little high in the front, but that's because the struts need to work a little bit. Need to break in some. Then we got the nice bull bar up there. It's kind of a quality unit. I really like the little frame down below that holds the license plate bracket and all that. Pretty trick there, pretty cool little protection there. A lot like the got the same look as the rally wagon. Very similar shape. Nice, I like it. Good taste. So yeah, like I said, just an easy half-day project. This is a pretty decent customer. Looks like he's got something going on. Maybe you guys are into the firearms. Maybe you could hook you up there, give you a little, tell him Amesy sent you. Maybe he'll give you a little break. If you got anything for Colt 1911, might be in the market for one of those. But yeah, that's his little project he's got going on. But anyways, yeah, I got to get back in there. Got other cars to fix. But just boring stuff for the rest of the day. Just stuff that I call in-out work. So anyways, yeah, comments much appreciated. They're all read and enjoyed. Thumbs up and much appreciated. And on that note, guys, and until next time, keep it out of the cabbage.